Y'all, I know that everyone is talking about Latino workers and stuff like that, which, it's a shame that everybody's losing their jobs and they're afraid and everything like that, right? But I just wanted to come on to say I don't believe the United States or this administration is worried. Because if you look behind the scenes, right, there are labor programs that are being started in Ghana and other countries in West Africa that are going to supply contract workers where there are shortages around the globe. And they're already starting the contracts now. Y'all heard me right, okay? So while the news is always talking about, um, well, where are they going to get the hospitality workers and where are they going to get the construction workers and where they're going to import them under contract. Okay. I'm going to tell you, there are countries that are already they're sending, some countries are under contract. I think Ghana, maybe, I'm not sure. Ghana had already said that they're under contract with one country and they're working on contracts with other countries, right? They're going to be sending them out. What's the type of work they're going to do? Agriculture, construction, hospitality, healthcare, under contract. And that's because they don't have much work for, because okay, everybody knows that Africa, the continent of Africa, has the youngest population, right? So if you have the youngest population, they need to work, right? So they don't have enough work, so they're going to be exporting them out to countries that do. That means Europe, because they have an aging population, and the United States of America. They've been paid. When I tell you, when I tell you, doesn't this remind, now as a black American, this does remind me of the transatlantic slave trade. Why? Because this whole business of exporting black labor, it has not stopped around the globe and it's doing it again, right? But here's the thing that I think about a lot, right? Is that if God, I'm going down a rabbit hole with y'all. If Ghana, or since Ghana had the year of return, right, and wanted African Americans to come back, quote unquote, wanted African Americans to come, including, I guess, people in the Caribbean too, right? Why do you want us to come if you can't supply work? It makes me go back and wonder what was the scheme to make you do this. Someone had to have paid you, because this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. You want 50 million people to come over here, right? Go to Ghana because there's no number. Just come. And other West African nations, right, were opening it up. But how the flip you gonna open up your nation when you hadn't taken care of the indigenous ones there? You have to export them out. So that leads me to believe this is a Liberia thing going on, where the American colonization society paid tribal chiefs over there to get land for Liberia. And they made Liberia because that was a business deal, to try and get free African Americans who were making a good living, possibly even rich, to move out of America and leave the enslaved. Cause see that whole business deal between America and Liberia, it wasn't for the enslaved Africans, it was for the free ones, and in Caribbean, because they was making money, they was making it good. So we need to get them out of here, so we won't give the enslaved ones hope. They couldn't just put African Americans out because we citizens. So they had to try and trick us. So here's this whole scheme, and I'm really going down a rabbit hole, right? So, but it's a rabbit hole. So don't get mad at me. It's a rabbit hole. Okay, so the Trump administration was his first term was when the year of return happened. Hmm. And now that he's back in office. This a lot of things are opening up. Okay, with the labor programs, more labor programs are starting to open up in Africa to ship out labor. So if you got to ship out labor, why would you want to have a ransom? There's some kind of money exchange going on again. Okay, transatlantic slave trade going on again. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, they're switching out people, switching out. This happens in America all the time now. This happens in America because even with the white folk, with the Europeans, when they came, when they came over to the United States of America, they liked them coming because they worked for less. They even worked for less than black Americans. Okay? Yeah, they worked for less, and so they liked them. Come on over, come on over. Labor. The jobs they coming over for: agriculture, construction, hospitality, all that. Yo. And it's under contract, and they don't get citizenship. Y'all, I know this is a rabbit hole. Okay? But I'm like, why don't you let them work in the country? Because I think that's what most continental Africans want. Take care of us in our land. Because it's not about taking care of them in their land. It's not about that. It's about the rich getting richer off of cheaper labor and being able to export because you're getting paid to do this. It's an exchange. It's always been a transatlantic slave trade. Y'all, I'm trying to say it's always been a transatlantic slave trade. Somebody gonna get paid less. Somebody will get paid less. And they're gonna think they're getting paid a lot. And they're gonna be grateful. Why? Because they haven't made that much money before. Well, with African Americans, we know what good money is in America. They don't want that. They want to import people who feel like $9 is a lot of money an hour. When I tell you, this feels like the modern day transatlantic slave trade. And I know a lot of places in Africa, I know Nigeria calls it a brain drain or something like that. What the flip? So yeah, they're going to have people under contract. And at the same time, they're asking black Americans to come and build. I've heard multiple leaders in different countries in Africa say, yes, we need African Americans to come back and build. Well, huh? Just 50 million people you want to come back and build? You got billions of people on the continent right now. If you work it right, it never made sense. But it does today, huh? At least in my brain. Rabbit hole.